thank you.
Always nice to have you as a conversation partner.
Thanks.
Now, as I understand it, you are a believer.
That is true.
Okay. But sometimes in your week, you are around people who aren't believers.
Most of the time.
And you sometimes will tell me stories about things they say that you're like, where did you get that from? So how do you sort of navigate that in the world that you live in, being a voice of faith in places where faith isn't the lead dog? How do you do it?
I guess I'm often talking about God in terms of the universe, or I really liked what you preached last week about a sort of network of connection that is God, and I feel like that speaks to the way I kind of see things and talk about things with the people in my life who think I'm sort of crazy for being here and doing this. So I think that sort of stems, my resurgence of belief, so I don't know, I feel like most of you have heard this story before. I grew up in a fundamentalist evangelical family, very small community, very insular, and then I took what I call a 20-year hiatus and was not part of any religious belief system whatsoever. And then I had a period where I was sick, and actually, this is a crazy, today's my birthday, and thank you.
Can we sing you a coffee hour?
Okay. This is a crazy moment, because 5 years ago this birthday, I was like bald and had to have people help me walk around, and I was getting ready for chemo tomorrow morning, and that was five years ago. Which, 43 is not a landmark birthday, but this sort of feels like 5 years, sort of a landmark birthday. But anyway, during that time, I had this amazing community of people who were by no means believers. I don't think a single one of my community in St. Louis who came up around me to take care of me were believers in God and Jesus, as we are talking about here today. And I saw God in them. So I came back to a sense of faith through people who do not believe in Jesus or God or any of that, because I could see this network that you were talking about in these people. I don't have a theological context for this, except that I feel like God is in the connection between you and me, whoever the you is.
We're a powerful, you and I are a powerful team, because all I have is theory, but no experience.
I wish I had the theory to back it up, but I only know what I feel.
Yeah, that's amazing. Honestly, that's an amazing story. I didn't know that part of it. That's really eye-opening.
Yeah, it's a thing I've thought about a lot, like how, and someday maybe we'll write about how a group of amazing atheists and agnostics brought me to belief in God again.
Wow. One other thing I wanted to talk to you about is people are surprised with how into this you are.
Oh, yeah.
So your friends and family are like, huh, you're really into that. But you said they think you're crazy, but do they ever tell you how it looks to them, or do they just kind of give you space?
I think mostly people give me space. And a lot of people, I have a lot of people in my life who maybe would be spiritual but not religious. You know, that thing we always talk about. So as long as we don't get into Jesus, a lot of people can get there with talking about faith. And I even have very close friends who have felt like they don't have a place or a person to talk about their faith with, because they feel like sort of shy or embarrassed about it. But that even though we don't maybe share an exact belief system, we can talk about faith, and it feels like an opening for people to be able to talk about faith and not be scared of it.
That is so
of being judged.
So as a pastor, I have the exact opposite experience.
Oh, yeah.
People will talk to me about Jesus, but they don't want to hear about anything else like church or history or the Bible. They're okay with Jesus, but that's it.
Yeah, I think that's such a. I always feel sad for pastors or people in your sort of role that people are scared to talk to you about things or feel judged maybe by your presence.
Yeah.
And it seems sort of sad. There's so much. I think this goes with what we were talking about today. There's just so much judgment that comes with talking about God or being a person of God, or people expect. In my experience, people expect to be judged, and that does come from the background that I grew up in.
Yeah.
And a lot of my friends grew up in a similar way, and we grew up with like, you be this way, and God will love you, as opposed to what I think and hope we're trying to cultivate in this space, which is that you belong, period. Like, this is a place for you, period. Not this is a place for you if you believe exactly the same way I do, and if you act the right way, and et cetera, et cetera.
Oh my gosh, you're saying that so well. Yeah, I can always tell the moment at a barbecue or a cocktail party or something when people figure out that I'm the pastor.
Yeah.
Because I call this Portland camouflage, what I wear, and people will let me be in the space. But I've actually had somebody say to me one time, he had a few, and he goes, yeah, there's a minister coming. And he was like waiting for me. And then everyone kind of got quiet, and then somebody's like, and it stunk because then the rest of the night, the only thing we could talk about was what was wrong with the church. People wanted to tell me what was wrong with the church. So I had a great time up till then, having real life conversations with people, and then it changed. But I'll tell you, it is humbling to listen to people tell you how they've been hurt and how much weight this thing carries in their lives. I sort of don't blame people for being angry at God or not believing, because unfortunately the institutional church, if you want to call it that, I don't like organized religion because it's not very organized. You know what I mean? It's sloppy. The sausage making behind the scenes is terrible. But I don't blame people for what has happened, because when I listen to their stories, I'm like, you know what? I feel the exact same way if that happened to me.
Totally. And I feel a little soapboxy about this, but especially with what's happening with the Methodist Church and being in the news, and I understand that we in this congregation, and probably in most of this part of the country, are open and accepting and saying you belong, period. But when the news is talking about the Methodist Church shutting down equality, shutting down a home for LGBTQ people, it's so painful. And then the conversation goes from, let's talk about faith, let's talk about belonging, to what is up with your church? Like, seriously. Or even if it's wow, we really want to get your insight on what's happening with, if it comes from not a defensive place, it still is so hard because I'm hurt by it, so it's hard for me to not telegraph the hurt. So yeah, we have a lot of hurdles to overcome of things that people are doing in the name of God, which this is one of those things that people are doing in the name of God that is a hurdle that we have to overcome.
Yeah, just a couple weeks ago, somebody really laid into me because 70, what is it, the stat, 70% of homeless youth identify as LGBT, and I think it's 40% of them had to leave their homes. The reason they're homeless is because the religion of their home wouldn't accept them. So, when we talk about homelessness, that's not someone else's problem. Like, that's the church's problem. If we haven't made our young people feel welcomed in our own space, and then they have to leave and they're homeless, we can't then turn a blind eye and say, well, maybe they should get a job.
Yeah, I mean, when I think about what I hope for this church, for this community, our community that we're creating, is that we can be what we say we are, which is a spiritual oasis. This is a thing that I've been talking about and thinking about, and just that people belong, period.
Sara pastored me this week. On Monday, I was sort of in the dumps, and we were at church council, and I was saying, with the loss of John Chilgren, and people like Joe Traw, and then some of our young people moving on, like Daniel and Kira, and then Katie North, and then Sarita last week, I was sort of saying this has been a season with a lot of loss. And she said to me, that's part about being a spiritual oasis, is that people are with you for a while, but they may move on. That's our job, is to love them for the time that they're with us, but we may be a stopover on their journey. And I have to admit that I have been mulling on that all week. I've repented of viewing things the wrong way and sort of mourning that instead of embracing being a spiritual oasis. So I just wanted you to know that your words Monday night have actually changed how I'm viewing this now third year of ministry here. And I really want to put more energy into this idea about being a spiritual oasis, because I think we have something to offer our community, which is anyone is safe here. And however long you're with us, you'll belong. And then if your journey takes you somewhere else, we will bless you as you go.
And the cool thing about Kira and Daniel and Katie and Sarita, all those people had said to me, like literally with tears on their faces, I'm scared to leave because I don't know if I'll ever find another place like this. And that just the feeling of home that they got to experience in the time that they were here is amazing. And all of those people, I mean, you know all of those people, and they're going out now to go wherever they're going to carry the light that and the home that they found here and make that for other people. So, I mean, we are small but mighty in that reverberation that's going to happen through those amazing people.
Thank you for sharing your insights. Can we thank Sara for coming to the table? I love this place so much.